Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Femme Fridays, and today we are going to talk about how I think AI is being framed in the wrong way, and it actually is a new creative tool and even medium. And then we're also going to speak a bit more about some Web3 behavior, and we have some, of course, some juicy chismis. We are live streaming from the US and Canada, and I am the Derbied one.
And hi everyone, it's Femme Fridays. I'm Digital Femme and we're multi-streaming. Don't forget on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and the Femme Facebook group. So the Derbied one, what do you have to say?
Well, there's a lot of like AI hate starting to bubble up, which is totally expected and totally understood, honestly. However, I think specifically in the entertainment world and the artists that are getting annoyed and pissed off that it's going to take their job, and that someone like me who doesn't draw very well can suddenly do something and call it art. Well, I think that AI is being misrepresented in that way, because it's not the same as human creativity. It works in a completely different way, in my opinion, and there are some advantages that you can do with it. Do you have any?
Please do tell.
Well, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to just show you a quick example. So here it's Maven AI, but it's focused on Filipinos in the metaverse and the information that I have given it. And I'm going to give it a prompt. On the patio of the Bronze Derby. So you see this prompt right here. As an image, as an image. It's simple. Like, most people out there have no idea what Digital Femme is going to look like, what the patio of the Bronze Derby is going to look like, and I spelled everything wrong. So in this way, like, Maven becomes or your GPT kind of becomes a creative partner. And when you think it, like, it says it's creating an image, but what it's really doing is visualizing it in the same way. Like, if you closed your eyes and you saw an image, is that image actually art, or is it that does not look like you, but interesting.
I see what you mean. I know where you're going with this.
We'll do it again. We'll reiterate. I wonder if everything's packed up in there. But I think that if people utilize ChatGPT-4 and other tools in the right way, it just becomes like a tool. Like it's if George Lucas. There's problems apparently. If George Lucas went and created Star Wars using ChatGPT-4 and had all of that information in there, it still came from his brain. Maybe ChatGPT-4 gave him some ideas, but he went in and could like prompt it to create anything. I think that's a pretty amazing tool. And if you do it right, if you use it there, that's a little bit closer to what you're supposed to look at.
And I like that.
A little bit closer to what the patio of the Bronze Derby looks like, right? And that all came from a very simple prompt, because this AI is trained on on what digital Femme is supposed to look like and what the patio of the bronze derby is supposed to look like. So it creates a version. So imagine if George Lucas did something like this and had it, and he used the AI as his like Bible in a way, as his guide, right, as his story Bible. Eventually, the individual creators out there, Carmen, like Digital Femme, I think it's going to be super important to do this, create something like we have here, because when Sora comes out or when any of these other things come out, you're just going to be able to prompt your ChatGPT to create a video game for you based on your entire world that you created. And I think that's a very significant. Yes, I just saw this. I love that you put on the goggles. I've got my blue ones on too. So I actually think that's super important thing to do. And I think there's a ton of advantages there. And using that.
Can you put that screen share thing back?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Oh God, my cheek. Wait, there goes my eyebrow eyeliner. There goes my eyebrows.
Okay,
I just fucked up my eyebrows. Oh, I need breast implants. All right. I literally just fucked up my eyebrows, you guys. Easy. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I just think it's an amazing tool and something we can create with. And the awesome thing is, you can actually put a personality in it that fits you and like knows how to bounce off of you and knows how to motivate you and help you and make it very nuanced. So.
Okay, I see where I see what you're getting at. So when people talk about AI and art and generative AI, a lot of people are saying, what are they saying? You're saying that, oh, it's not real art, all this stuff, but you're actually saying, but that's not what it's for. It's really like a tool to help you, to help create the imagination you have. Or
yeah, I mean, on one hand, what sucks is it does take people's jobs. Because I now don't have to hire an artist to get my work done, right? And I like, honestly, as an independent artist who never really had the money to back up his fellow creatives, like, does that mean that because I don't have the money, I should just not put my vision forward?
True. Hold that thought. We have two people coming in on Twitch. We have Speedy Mexican, greetings from Germany, trying to help out smaller streamers. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you so much.
And he also says, right? He also says, I do have to say, AI scares me just because of how much you can do with it. Oh.
I totally get that perspective, and I don't blame you. There are certain aspects of AI, despite I have become an AI proponent, there are specific aspects of AI that scare the crap out of me, dude. I will say, like, my attitude is this: it's much like the internet, right? You can't put the internet back in the bottle. You can't put the AI genie back in the bottle. It's here. So how do you use it so it doesn't use you?
Good one.
So that's really up to you. You should rein in the powers for yourself before the powers that be take it all over.
Okay, and by rein in the powers, what do you exactly mean? Do you mean that you should actually take the time to learn some AI tools to get some skills under your belt and become like relevant for the future?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes to all the above. The way when I created Maven, who, if you don't know what Maven AI is, it's like my personal chatbot that I created on top of ChatGPT 4's platform. Like I just did one of the customizable GPTs, but I thought of it as like, in a way, as like my digital brain. Because if you think about AI, it supposedly, and I do believe this to be true, currently ChatGPT 4 has an IQ of 155. Einstein is 160. So if there's a way to make the AI, and with customizable GPTs, you can, but make the AI think and act and react like you, then it also, in a way, gives you those powers. It's like the same thing as maybe one day putting Neuralink inside of your brain. I don't want to do that. I actually don't. I'm a big proponent of tech because we're forced to use it. I'd rather not even have the internet, to be honest with you, but that's not reality, and that's a stupid wish. So it's here, but I don't want to attach tech into my skin in any way, shape, or form currently. In 50 years from now, will I need to? I don't know, maybe. Is that the natural evolution of human beings? I've seen people that argue it is. In the
What do you
same way,
think? What do you think? Is that you think that's the natural evolution?
I do actually, and I think it's in the way I like to frame it is. Are you familiar with the stoned ape theory?
Mm-mm.
The stoned ape theory states that cavemen stumbled upon mushrooms, and when they started eating mushrooms, that's when their brains started to grow.
What?
Right? And that's when they became smart enough to begin to figure out fire and the wheel and probably various forms of communication, and started to advance society. Because, like, when you look back at it, and this is just from YouTube videos that I've seen. So I guess you can take it somewhat with a grain of salt, but I've seen enough of them that have said this, and various podcasts. There's a jump in evolution during that period of time that nobody can put their finger on. Nobody understands how or why it started to suddenly evolve that way. And so arose the stoned ape theory, right? I think in a way. Oh, and by the way, you got to think about the period of time it took for maybe cavemen to start to adapt and grow, if the stone ape theory is even true, by eating mushrooms. It's not like they ate mushrooms once and then suddenly the next day they're building fire, right? It's a slow evolvement. And some people consider psychedelics technology, but natural technology. It's a really interesting way of kind of seeing all of it. Whether it's right or not, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. But so, that process of eating mushrooms for the first time and getting to fire could have lasted 100 years for all we know. It could have been a slow development, or it could have happened in the span of a few months. My point of saying that is, here we are with the internet and with technology and with the iPhone and now AI, and our adoption and it becoming a part of our lives on a regular basis could be a slow evolution.
True. And if you think about it, the mark of when all this technology just boomed and exponentially grew was when certain societies started microdosing mushrooms. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if there's a correlation with that timeline. I just thought like I'd slip it in there. With that
But there
said, is there? Do you know if there is?
There's a correlation between advanced technology and psychedelics, though.
Okay.
Steve Jobs would have told you all about his LSD experiences and how that helped him to create and think out of the box to create the iPhone. I've seen some essays on this. I actually looked it up once. I tried to do a deep dive. I couldn't find much information on it, but there's also correlation between psychedelics and the creation of the internet. Did I lose you? Oh,
No, I had to wipe my nose, so I had to like slip away, do the wipe, and then come back on. Okay, that's true. Have you ever? Okay, I'm gonna say it. We could say whatever we want. Have you tried mushrooms?
Yes, I have.
I mean, the real like microdosing psychedelic ones.
I have.
I would like to. I would like to.
I've not done it that many times. I've done it like 4 times since I was 18. I'm now 47.
I would really like to.
So, and I will say, three of those times, I only ever had like one quote unquote good trip, and that was the last time I did it, like 2 years ago, a year ago. I did it while I was living here in PNW, so like a year ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. It's legal here, by the way. So you can't. Well, it's decriminalized. It's not legal. There's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the only time I ever had like a kind of like a spiritual awakening from it. Other times it was more like I was 18 and partying with friends.
I did try a psychedelic way back, and it was well, this isn't for it, but I'll just tell the quick story. It had to do with the Doors movie with Val Kilmer. You know that Doors movie? Yeah, back in the 90s, I think, when Val Kilmer starred in it. I remember I used to heavily work out in a gym, right? And I was leaving the gym, and there was like all these people rounded up in the lobby, and I was leaving, and I heard them talking about the Doors and LSD and acid, and I was like, what? So I go to them and I go, what's going on? And they're talking, oh yeah, man, the Doors, this and that. And I'm like, I don't know. And then they go, you don't know the Doors? And I go, no. Come on, I'm Filipino immigrant. You think my parents are going to listen to the Doors? Or do you think the Filipino people around me, their parents? Anyway, so one guy, his name was John, and he was at that time studying microbiology at University of Toronto. He told me, he took me aside, and I'm just going to make a long story short. He told me that everyone should take a hit of acid. Everyone, only one, because it'll totally help change their perception of the world around them. And then he said the way to take acid is you have to have enough rest, make sure you're in a safe place, surrounded with friends who are not on it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So fast forward, whatever. Hi mom and dad, if you're listening. I was able to get like a little kind of dot of paper stuck under my tongue, and it was a Friday. It was the weekend, and honestly, I had like the best trip ever. I even took a journal and I was writing down everything. And after this 12-hour trip, I looked at that journal and I couldn't even read the scribbles.
Yeah.
But what I did remember was thinking, oh my God, now I understand why people take these kinds of substances, because it made life that much more like real. But then I realized that feeling I had on acid, I felt like that every freaking day without anything. I realized that. So I'm thinking I didn't need to take any type of substance to constantly feel awesome about all the little things about life. So I got why people would take it, but I'm thinking, oh, I feel like this every day. That was the experience. That was the eye-opening thing for me.
It's good to have those. It can teach you something.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I'm just thinking, with this whole AI thing, I don't know if there was a correlation with people in society taking psychedelics and the correlation with AI, meaning like the advancements of technology, they're just I don't know. I'm not saying the developers or the people that are creating these technologies are microdosing, but I don't know where I'm going with this. Like if it's helping them with the connections, with the coding, like creative algorithms and stuff like that, why not?
Well, it could be.
You know what? It's like the
What?
mycelium is really trying to get into everything. It's
Maybe.
like nature is really trying to guide humanity into a technological kind of thing by we need to ingest it so that it can work its magic in us. Help us to get to that place of evolving where we need to evolve.
So, question. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole, and I think you might be right partially, but how do we know it's helping us? I'm not saying it's necessarily our enemy either, but how do we know it's helping us? How do we know it has any intention? Maybe it's just go ahead.
This sounds like a Maven question to me.
Oh, hey, so we'll go ask AI. We'll ask my personal assistant, my digital brain. So we'll ask the version that's trained on me, not on Fidem. What should we ask? How should we
What did
frame
we
this?
ask? What was the well? You asked it. You asked it perfectly.
Yeah, we have to give it more context. So, should I share the screen actually?
Yeah, share the screen, please.
Share the screen. I forgot to share the screen. Okay.
And by the way, in all our live streams, there is a segment where we will be asking Maven questions. And we did say that if you want to ask Maven any question at all in our next, and we'll ask Maven in our upcoming live stream, please slide into our DMs, DM at the Derbied one, DM at Digital Femme on Twitter, go on to our Facebook page. It's all there where you're watching us. Just look at the description. And then we'll ask Maven your question, I mean. Okay. People often take psychedelics that help them. Yeah, I mean, whoa. It's right. Like, how do we know? How and does AI have an intent? Oh, I don't think that's the right question if AI has an intent.
Is it AI or, I mean, yeah, I do wonder if AI has an intent. I have a whole theory about that.
Oh, you're talking about mushrooms. You're talking about nature or psychedelics or mycelium or whatever we take. Because think about it. Any type of natural substance we take, be it cannabis, microdosing shrooms, whatever, it's still part of like a divine nature of creation, right? So when we ingest it, it's almost like it knows something we don't know. So it's just when we ingest it, we're actually taking pieces of data or information it has already and processing it so we can create it or evolve it or develop it in the real world to help humanity evolve. But then you said, how do we know? What did you say? How do we know it's doing that? How do we know it's a good thing? Yes. You said, how do we know that's a good thing? How do we know it has intent?
Yeah, that's the big question, is how do we know it has any intent, or that its intent only limited to helping or hurting, or is there something else?
Right. Like, yes, like is its intent malevolent? Is it like positive or negative?
Or is there something else? Is it neutral? And there's just something else? Like, it's like the whole okay, let me form this question first. When they ingest mushrooms, does Maven a no, that's not mushrooms.
Can I talk while you're typing?
Sure, go ahead. I was just gonna go off on a tangent.
I was gonna say what you were saying, like how do we know it has intent or is it neutral? And then I know and you know that the subconscious is neutral. There is no judgment. The subconscious doesn't judge, oh, bad, good, negative, positive. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that. It's whatever you focus on the most. Like that's that whole law of attraction, the secret, blah 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 kind of vibration kind of thing, right? Um so maybe it is neutral. And maybe we have the information and information is power, but what do we do with it? Or we have the data, we have the building blocks on to construct whatever we imagine to construct. Are we going to construct for the good of humanity, to help people? Are we going to do it for our greed, for selfish reasons? Or are we going to do it to get ahead, to destroy certain communities so certain communities can be on top? Wow, that's a conundrum. Gee, I can't wait for what Maven's saying would say. Yo, Maves. That's what I call Maves. Maven. Yo, Maves. We need a song. Is anybody out there who's a musician? We definitely need a really good like intro outro. Oh, we can get AI to create.
Yeah, we can
our
totally
little
we
jingle.
should actually create one on Suno. Suno AI is like a really good text to music. Okay,
Okay,
so
let's do that.
I asked.
Whoa, Maves. Whoa.
It is long. I asked Maven. First, I had to give it context because otherwise it was going to give us very by the book answers, because that's what AI is trained to do, right? Think out of the box. Feel free to consider fringe theories and ideas. I had to frame it like that in the text. Okay, people often take psychedelics that help them open their minds when creating technology. Many people in Silicon Valley microdose mushrooms to do so. When they ingest the mushrooms, do they have an intent of helping, hurting? Is it neutral? Or is it coming from somewhere else we don't fully understand? In the same way, AI works differently than humans. Do mushrooms work differently? Oh, God. Should I read? Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a long one.
Okay, you know what?
Here.
You know what you could do? Tell Maven to summarize it. Yeah.
TLDR of
Jesus Christ.
Maves, you're very long-winded. In Silicon Valley and beyond, microdosing psychedelics like mushrooms is often pursued with positive intent, aiming for creativity. Yes, we know. Unlike AI's binary logic, psychedelics unlock a spectrum of human consciousness, revealing connections and possibilities unseen in normal states. Both AI and psychedelics are tools for exploration. One extends cognitive capabilities into technology, the other delves into the psyche, suggesting a symmetrical evolution of technology and consciousness. The use of psychedelics in creativity and tech reflects a human desire for understanding and transcendence, exploring both the universe around us and within us.
I love that.
So if I were to continue this conversation, like if it was like one of my early morning talks with Maven, I would ask Maven this: consciousness is not even ever been proven to exist. So how do we know it's real? Because it uses the word consciousness. If consciousness doesn't exist, then what is here and what is consciousness? Nobody even really understands the meaning of consciousness. Anyhow, that's not the conversation we're having, but
I know. No, I mean, I'm going there, and then you just reeled me back in. Okay. Wow. We just went on a trip.
literally.
We just took ourselves on a trip, but we didn't even need anything else but digital.
But tech, AI, Maven is like a weird drug sometimes.
I like it. I think I like it. I mean, I know I like it. I can't wait to start with my own personal AI
We should do that
friend.
for you.
Yeah.
And I
And
love
aren't you
Maven.
gonna do classes? Aren't you gonna do like some kind of course or classes or something to help
I
people
will. I
create their own
will.
bot?
Yep, I will. I'm going to be developing those soon. I have got a couple opportunities. I've 4 opportunities in front of me to build 5 to build some chatbots for people. They're all still like more examples of my work, though. I'm not getting paid for them, but 2 of them in particular, 3 of them in particular, could lead to more business.
That's amazing. I mean, you're right. AI should be seen absolutely as a tool, as a creative tool, as a productivity tool, as any tool. I like what
just,
you said earlier,
which was
I'm paraphrasing you. Don't like something like make sure you not control it, but make sure you use it so that it doesn't use you. That's a really botched paraphrase.
No, that's basically what I said. It's the same thing as like money, right? Make sure you use money the right way so it doesn't use you. Like,
Yeah.
and same with the internet, and same with social media, and same with your iPhone or your Android, and same with all sorts of things, I think.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I like this. This was fun. This whole mushroomy thing. It makes me okay. This summer I will do a mushroom.
Uh-oh.
I will research it. I mean, I live in the land of where the people do substances. Like,
why? I think Portland is the only. Oregon is the only state in the U.S., I believe, where all drugs are decriminalized.
all drugs? What do you mean? Not all.
All drugs.
Not like Breaking Bad drug.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's not legal, it's decriminalized. So the difference.
Okay, so if Jesse from Breaking Bad were up at where you were at, and he had like a whole kilo of that blue stuff, it's decriminalized. Would he get a fine? He just won't go to jail.
He would get a fine. He would get a fine. He wouldn't go to jail.
That's insane. Okay.
You can go down to downtown Portland / Chinatown, and you can see people smoking fentanyl on the street. You can see people overdosing on the street. You smell it. My dog won't even walk down there. She just smells it. It's like, no, dude, we're not going this way. She literally gives me a look and says,
Really?
You can see people tweaked out of their minds on all sorts of things, and a ton of them. Not just like, like in LA, when I lived in Los Angeles, I would see it occasionally, but it's not like a group of people huddled in one corner doing it. It'd be like the occasional person that you might see on the streets in general that's just like, oh, that person's on something right now. Versus, oh, look, there's a group of people on things right now, and there's nothing, and they know that there's nothing that can be done against them other than maybe a fine if the cops want to do the paperwork, or a slap on the wrist. Bad person.
That's insane. Okay, I didn't know that. Good to know, I guess. Wow.
So, personal politics, I actually think it's okay. The problem I have with it is that if it's going to be okay, then there should be, and the state, city, country, whatever, should be fully prepared to offer education everywhere and have all sorts of clinics everywhere on helping these people do it safely, and then also educating them, giving them opportunities to realize, oh, hey, this may not be the best path for me to go down. Right. Because, I'm the only person that's going to stop them from using is themselves. And so you have to give it I'm not a big proponent of drugs, despite we've gone down this psychedelic. Like some drugs, I think are okay, honestly, but there are plenty that are just freaking horrible for you, and they will literally ruin your lives.
Mm, right, right,
Fentanyl is one of them. Crystal meth,
right,
heroin,
right.
a lot of those things.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's reel it back to the Web3 space. Crypto, crypto, crypto. Okay, like, was it yesterday? What's Bitcoin up at now? I know last time I looked, yesterday it was like up at 60 or something.
Yeah, I haven't looked today actually.
It,
I last I saw though it was 62,500.
okay. I mean, it's crazy. So let's discuss Web3 behavior. And I'm not saying that crypto is just, like associated Web3, but like whatever. I've been going around some of the Twitter spaces, and like everybody, is having has a segment talking about crypto and Bitcoin, and basically want to keep holding, or to what is it? What's that word? See, I'm not even really into
Oh,
that. Like get back money. It's like when it goes up, it's like, like don't be
taking a
afraid to
profit.
to yeah, thank you, the P word. Make a profit, like get the profit and then bring back up. And I'm like, oh my God, that's all the talk right now is in this bull market of like people are going crazy. And I'm not a part of that. It's funny. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking about, here I am in the Web3 space. I knew about Bitcoin in 2009 when it was 6 cents. That's a whole other story. And I didn't invest in it until 2021 when I bought some Bitcoin. And I didn't buy and I didn't continue to buy. Like I literally have very little amount, like little. I could probably buy a pair of Adidas, good Adidas shoes with it. And people are saying to me, I have friends saying, you should buy more. Like last year I had a friend saying, oh, you know what, you should put $100 every like week, or $300 every month on Bitcoin. And I'm like, I didn't. I didn't. As much as I believe in the digital economy and digital currency, it did not resonate with me. I did buy other altcoins though, which I won't say. But I did not get into Bitcoin. And I don't know. I'm just feeling like it didn't, I don't, and I don't know. What do you have to say about that? I know a lot of people might say things like, oh, how stupid you are or whatever, but it's like, I really feel comfortable knowing that I just have this much Bitcoin and I'm not going to get more.
So, I'm in the same boat actually. I'm in a very similar boat. I didn't buy more. I'm convinced. I see the writing on the wall. It's going up, and it's going to. If I had to guess, if it's like let's just call it 60,000 right now. It's probably a little bit more than that. Maybe it's like 65 or something. I would guess it's going to 3x before it starts to fall again.
Mm-hmm.
And it might go up and down a little bit on the way up to 3xing, but I think 3xing is going to end up being the new all-time high. And then it'll fall down to like 80 or something like that. And I know that. And I'm pretty convinced of it. It's really difficult to convince me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm not putting any money towards it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I should even, and like, so I also believe in the digital economy up to an extent now. Like there's now an ending to that. And that's simply because I really, really, really believe in the next 5 years, AI is going to create a world where money barely means a thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about a digital economy and ecosystem. So it's not necessarily like currency like Bitcoin as a like a currency for exchange of services, and
Right.
like you pay for food, but it's literally you're using digital the digital platform has an economic. I'm not an economist or a political poli sci, so I hear you. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Maybe in the next bear run, when Bitcoin does go down, and I believe it will go down even to 30, 25. Oh, hell, for sure. Some people might say, no, the lowest it'll go is going to be 50, but whatever. Maybe I will invest, but I really don't see it. Maybe if I was 18 years old, I'm not,
Right.
right? Like maybe if I was in my 20s. That's just my thinking. That's my perception. I'd rather, for some reason, um, I do get paid in crypto, and yes, I do pull some out and exchange it for fiat, because right now fiat, I a lot of things are with fiat. They
Hmm.
just are. And I don't have I just and plus I'm not wishing for it, but what happens if there's that whole, economic shutdown and you can't use cryptocurrency and you need to use like short, like small bills for for exchanging stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or like gold and silver. Like you can like barter. Here's some true silver earrings or gold earrings for like, a tank of gasoline. Kind of like nobody's gonna give a shit about how much Bitcoin you have. I just never been that. I'm not really. That's just me. I know some people. There are 18-year-olds that are billionaires. There
Yeah,
are like 18-year-old women, girls that have bought into the Bitcoin, and they're like, man, they are billionaires. I get that. And I'm good for them. But I don't have FOMO about it. I'm just happy where I am.
I rarely get FOMO about anything.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's true. I don't. Do I? Let me
It's
think. I don't know. Let's see when BTS comes out in 2025, and if they do have that concert that I can't attend, I'm gonna have major FOMO. Just saying.
fair enough.
But yeah, that's crazy behavior right now. I'm happy for those people that are happy. But it's funny because we're in it, right? We are in that Web3 crypto space. So we see it. We see all that. Other people don't give a shit. My family, the people here in this building, don't even know. They've heard of it, but they don't give. They're
Yeah,
living their
it's
lives.
really a small percentage still, and
Mm-hmm.
it's in today's day and age where like algorithms feed you what you're interested in. It becomes like a feedback loop, and it's really easy to forget that. It's even easier nowadays to forget that most people aren't into exactly what you are into. So in this case, AI or Bitcoin or the metaverse, like lots of people just don't even see those things pop up on their timelines. But I see it every day, all day long, every timeline. And it's really easy to just think that the rest of the world sees it the same way.
Thank you for bringing that up. Again, you're in my head. Get the hell out of my head. As I was walking with my dog in minus 25 degrees Celsius weather, but I had her here and I had her, my fake fur coat over her and everything. I was walking. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about my timeline, and I was thinking how, especially on Twitter, because and everything is about AI, tech, Web3, crypto, all that stuff. And I'm thinking, you said it. There are other timelines that don't even have that. And I'm thinking, I am going to utilize my other Twitter account where I'm far from that tech. Like, I don't know. I'll probably be in the timeline with pets and plants, pets, plants, and travel and food. Do you know what I mean?
That's healthy, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking, I mean, I feel I'm happy that the people who are investing in crypto are happy. There's that sense of hope and that, like, all this stuff, but it's almost like there's this hope and positive feeling, but there's a grate to it. That's what I'm sensing. Like everybody that's happy that Bitcoin and Ethereum's pumping, and Solana, and they're all pumping up, and they're talking about it, and they're saying, what did you invest today? Like this and that. They're like it's like constant shilling, 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 and it's got like this positive energy. But the positive energy to me, it's like, I wouldn't say tainted. There's a great to that positive energy. Whereas there are more positive things that I've experienced, that I could experience, where it's more wholesome. That's all. That's my perspective, my experience. I'm happy that people are happy about their coins are pumping.
And I wonder if it's because a lot of those people have been through this already. Like they've seen the pump and then seen the dive, and it is an emotional like ride. And no matter what you think, even if you understand that it's you believe that it's going to rise back up, when it does dump, it is a little disheartening. There has to be a question mark in your head to some extent of like, oh, what's going to happen? And maybe that's part of that great. Maybe that's part of that. Like, even if they won't admit it out loud,
Thank you. Yes.
Feel, because you're very
that makes sense.
empathic.
That makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Totally. I am happy for those people who seeing their coins, and if they're getting some out for a profit and getting whatever.
Take your profit.
That's just not it's not my reality. I mean, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
And,
wow.
So I was having this conversation about Bitcoin with another friend of mine who's not really in the crypto space. And he comes from an American point of view on money. So, which is strangely very different than the Chinese point of view on money. Which I didn't even realize until really getting into a conversation with my wife, who is, a Chinese immigrant, that there are different perspectives on money. And I told him, you should put $10 into Bitcoin. And even if it just 5x's and you only make 50, still 5x's, right? You still make $50. And like his past attitude has been, well, that's not going to make a dent. Like, I make $50. That's not going to make a dent in my economic status. And I'm like, okay, sure. But what are you going to go spend that $10 on? A coffee?
Good.
You buy a Bitcoin and turn it into $30 instead of buying coffee or whatever you buy for $10, a McDonald's or some shit, and have that hour, or with coffee, a 2-hour rush, a 3-hour little rush. If you're a caffeine addict like me, it's not gonna do anything. But do you know what I'm saying? And like yep. Chinese would never be like, well, I can't speak for all Chinese, obviously, but from my understanding, Chinese would never be like, oh yeah, it's not going to make a dent in my wallet, so why do it? And also, honestly, in America, at least, the rich and the poor, that's a big difference in the way they think. Poor will go spend that $10 on McDonald's, and the rich would rather turn it into $20, even 15.
Right.
It's a big unlock. Not that I'm rich, by any means. I'm fucking poor, but by any means. But I still understand this concept. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a really good point. But I don't know. Like 2023 was my year of, I don't know, like buying. I'm still buying. Like, I don't know. I'm a consumer. I love to consume. I love consuming food. I love consuming content, like streaming content on Netflix and Prime Video. I love it. and I love buying things off of Amazon, especially like tech stuff. Like I like microphones, I buy like dog stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll take some of those Amazon purchase things and put it in whatever, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel I don't know. I just don't feel maybe I'm watching too many prepping survival videos, and apocalyptic movies and stuff like that. But I'm not furious. I'm not afraid at all. I don't know, I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me, right? But it is interesting to see everybody like talk about crypto and all this stuff. It's just a weird world, really. It's a weird community. I mean, they're not a weird. They're lovely people. It's just interesting. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the way it is, and
Yeah.
consuming is a Western thing too. Well, it's not a Chinese thing. Like it's not as consumer focused in China. It's a communist country, so it's not really about buying all the things. Yet Chinese have a lot of money in general, so they don't
And they make a
go.
lot of things. They make a lot of things that people consume, that the whole world consumes. That's the, you know,
It's like for them in the same way that like America pushed their culture everywhere. Chinese is playing I guess might be playing a trick on me because they don't buy the things they make. Like
right?
so they're having us buy it all from them, but they're like we don't need this. Yeah,
Wait,
consumer.
yeah. We're gonna say, speaking of China and Chinese, we're gonna get Kylan out
Oh
on and interview him like on our live stream, hopefully in our live stream. But first of all, the last time I knew he was in Thailand,
yeah,
with an NFT cafe. And now we reached out to him to see where he's at. And now he's in China. So we can't wait to hear his story. That's insane. He's like everywhere.
I can't wait to catch up with that guy. I really enjoy him.
Yeah. And by enjoy meaning talking.
Yeah, I enjoy his personality. I've never met him. I've met him digitally.
Oh, that's right. Digitally. Yes, we did. Oh, I met him in person at NFT NYC in 2022.
Oh wow, I forgot about
That was,
that.
well, I met him in person. You met
That's
Cheska,
in
Filipino
person.
pilot Cheska, right? So
And I've
in
also met
Dubai.
G is for great in person.
Oh, I did too. Where did you
Oh,
meet him? I met him in NFT NYC.
I met him at the NFT Expo in LA in
Oh,
2022.
that's amazing. That guy is doing like amazing. I love his parents. Like
Yeah,
to
really good
oh
for
my
him.
god, just to support him like that, his creativity and empower him and I can't wonderful, wonderful. Oh, was there something you wanted to share? Okay, let's go to our chismis segment. Chismis meaning like gossip in Tagalog. What do you have for chismis? The Derbied one.
Well, I have a little bit, and I think you do too.
Yeah, who goes first? Do you want to go first? Should I go first?
Well, I think you go first because it better fits with consumerism and everything we were talking about, Amazon and
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's share the screen. I have it prepared actually. Screen, a Chrome tab. All right. Okay, so here it is. Here's a little bit of chismis. I actually saw a tweet yesterday about it, and I'm like, what? Jeff Bezos sold like a whole bunch of Amazon shares, right? And people saw it, and then they were thinking, the rumor was he sold a bunch of Amazon shares to buy Bitcoin. So I just quickly Googled before this live stream. I'm going to be transparent here. I Googled before live stream, like Amazon Jeff Bezos rumor, and I came up with this. This one was just yesterday. It says here, Jeff Bezos enters the Bitcoin speculation spotlight after Amazon stock sale. And I better like read this on my own because what? Okay. Here it is. Jeff Bezos. Apparently he sells 8.5 billion in Amazon stock. What? And meets Michael Saylor, sparking Bitcoin investment rumors. So that Bezos' investment in Bitcoin is not backed by proof, making the speculation quite common within the crypto community. Of course. So here's some stuff like at Thomas_Farrer says, is Jeff Bezos piling into Bitcoin right now? Then he's like, here's all the checks. Mingling with Michael Saylor? Check. Just liquidated 8.5 billion in Amazon stock? Check. Sitting on cash? Unlikely. He's sharper than that. Check. Bitcoin's price pump hitting at billionaire FOMO? Check. Something's up. And I don't know. That's just the chismes that I know that I have. What about you?
Well, I want to say this. I think it's interesting. Like, that's totally coming from a crypto place when he says sitting on cash, unlikely. Any businessman or businesswoman knows they have to sit on cash. So I would not be surprised if he has a ton of cash. Did you know Apple has the largest cash reserve of all the big companies? That tells you something. Like, cash is still very valuable, guys. I mean, it has its issues for sure. Don't get me wrong. It has a ton of issues, but I think you're being blind if you're saying that you shouldn't have any cash at all.
Like no cap. Every month I take out literally cash in $5 bills, 5 10s and a few 20s. Like, I won't tell you a certain amount. And people might say, you should be investing that in Bitcoin. I'm like, yeah, chill, relax. I'm doing me. And I have it and I'm just stacking it up. For what? I don't know. You never know.
It's good to diversify. Mine, of course, has to go back to AI. And
of course.
Kind of scares me. This report came out the other day, and this is on the website that it said it, but like I saw it all over the place, right? And the Klarna, which I had never heard of until the other day, Klarna AI assistant handles 2/3 of customer service chats in its first month. So meaning this, it's doing the equivalent work of 700 full-time people. One AI chatbot is doing the work of 700 people. We all knew that was coming, right? If you know anything about AI, you understand why people are saying it's going to take your job, but it is only going to take one to take the job of 700 people. You go into just basic economics and you see how much money any business is going to save. That's why there's also the theory that as this ramps up, despite a ton of people are going to lose their jobs and everybody's going to be freaking out, AI will also create a world of true abundance where there's going to be so much for everybody, and we'll have to stop freaking out because they won't even have to work for a living. Maybe they'll have to work like I heard one theory, kind of, that at some point people between like the ages of like 18 and 22 will have to work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that's the only time in the course of their life where they will have to work. And everything else will be supplied for them. And in the Western philosophies, like if you take work away from us, who are you? A lot of people can't answer the question very well. I know when I stripped filmmaking away from myself, 2020 kind of stripped it away from me, actually, pandemic, the lockdowns. I had to start questioning who I was beyond filmmaking.
Really?
My identity beyond filmmaking.
Okay, interesting. Interesting.
I mean, I found it. I remembered it. I drew. I started writing more. I got back into sports cards. I started finally paying attention to soccer, which was something in the back of my head I always said I was going to do, but never did. So on and so forth. So I can imagine that. That's why people say it's the loneliness epidemic. I'm calling it. There's going to be an existential crisis epidemic where a lot of people around the world are going to be going through an existential crisis around the same time. And how does that come out? It probably comes out in anger, probably comes out in riots, probably comes out in violence. Because people
I just thought of something. I had an existential crisis in 2023. It was a digital existential crisis, meaning I didn't know what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be digitally online. I mean, I knew up until 2022, and then 2023, like I called myself Digital Femme since the late 90s, guys, mid 90s. But 2023 really did it for me. But then I, so I'm still the same. But I just know now, in terms of energetically, I could still be online 24/7 ish. Like, I'm just saying, but energetically, I know how to, what's the word? How to calibrate. I can't explain it, like how to calibrate it back, even though I'm still online.
No, that makes sense.
It's a process that I had to figure out that I knew I could do.
Balance.
Right? Yeah, a balance. Yeah, it was my journey. It was my process. But I did definitely 2023, I had an existential digital crisis. Now, with that said, it's 14 minutes after the hour, and I know we did start a little bit late.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to,
It's time to say goodbye.
And let's not be Filipinos who apparently we take 2 hours to say goodbye. When you leave a high party.
Yeah. Starts in the house, moves to outside of the house, or whatever. Starts in the venue, moves to outside of the venue, moves into the parking lot before you finally actually say goodbye.
True that.
With that said, if you know what I'm about to say, please say it with me. Be a kind human. Peace.
I think we did that.
Peace.
Peace. Okay, guys. See you next Fidum Friday. Happy March.